The Abramtsevo goddess was called Vera, the daughter of the famous 19th-century philanthropist and industrialist Savva Mamontov. The image of a mischievous and unusually lively girl, and later the girl was inspired by Vasnetsov, Repin, Kuznetsov, Vrubel. But she is most familiar to everyone thanks to Valentin Serov's painting, The Girl with Peaches. A happy accident. It is not surprising that the estate of the patron of artists and artists Mamontov Abramtsevo was often visited by people of art. One could meet Ivan Turgenev, Mark Antokolsky, Vasily Surikov, Konstantin Korovin. Nikolai Gogol liked to stroll along the alley in Abramtsevo Park. The Red Drawing Room served as a favorite gathering place for writers, musicians and artists. Not a day in Abramtsevo passed without home plays, hide and seek, salsock, boat, fleet, wood carving, drawing, classes with equal participation of children and adults. In a fertile home for creativity stayed to visit and returned in the spring of 1887 from Italy, 22-year-old Serov. He from childhood was his own in the Mamontov family. 10-year-old boy Serov first came to Abramtsevo. Vera at that time had just been born. He was a peer of her favorite brothers, from childhood lived with the Mamontovs, participated in many Abramtsevo creative pranks. As if in one breath from under the brush Serov was born the famous Girl with Peaches, turning the author into one of the famous and fashionable portraitists. Looking at the happy, carefree 12-year-old Vera Mamontova in the painting, with disheveled hair and blush on her cheeks, it is difficult to imagine that she had to pose for several hours in a row for a month and a half. But how to refuse a friend? Vsevolod Mamontov, Vera's older brother. 12-year-old cheerful, perky girl in the summer weather day is so drawn to the freedom to run, dabble. And here sit in the room at the table, and even less move. This work Serov required many sessions, the sister had to pose for her for a long time. Yes, Anton himself recognized the slowness of his work, very much this agonized and later told his sister that he is her unpaid debtor. And it is certainly impossible to assume how difficult was the future fate of everyone's favorite. Suddenly interrupted family life. In the mid-1890s, Vera Mamontova was engaged in social work in schools and orphanages, following her mother Yelizaveta Grigorievna, who did a lot to ensure that in the neighboring villages of Abramtsevo Okturka and Kotkovo there were schools, an infirmary and craft workshops that helped to employ peasant children. After school. At the same time, Vera found time to attend lectures on history and literature. At the age of 27, her husband became the Moscow provincial leader of the nobility, Alexander Samarin, Minister of Church Affairs. The hereditary nobleman was able to tie himself in marriage with a girl from a merchant family only after the death of his own father, all sorts of obstacles to the choice of his son. In marriage, the couple had 3 children, daughter Lisa and son Sergei and Yuri. But their family happiness, built on mutual respect and love, did not last long. Buying gifts for children for the upcoming Christmas, Vera caught a cold. A severe pneumonia confined her to her bed and literally burned her out in a matter of days. The young woman passed away when she was 32 years old. As if years later, the image of the heroine of the ominous watercolor, Tamara in the Coffin, by Mikhail Vrubel, for which Vera served as a model, was tragically embodied in reality. Life without Vera. Remarry a loving husband could not. He was helped to bring up his children by Vera's younger sister Alexandra. In memory of his early departed wife near their estate Samarin erected the Church of the Life-Giving Trinity. His brilliant political career ended with his arrest in 1919 and exile to Yakutia. His daughter Elizabeth supported her father by following him. Until his death in a labor camp, Samarin worked hard. He taught German and wrote a book on Yakut grammar.